September is Gynaecological Awareness Month. 3 Kiwi women are diagnosed and one dies, I should say, every day from gynaecological cancer, and yet few of us understand the signs and the symptoms. Broadcaster Peter Williams has a very personal reason for joining the fight against New Zealand's silent cancer. And Peter joins us now with gynaecological oncologist Dr. Ling. Good morning, you two.
Good morning.
Nice to see you both. It's known as New Zealand's silent cancer. Why?
I think it's silent because nobody talks about it. The cancer itself, it's not silent.
No.
The cancer does have symptoms and signs, and if we are aware of it, then it can lead to early detection and better outcomes.
Do we just not talk about it? Because we talk about breast cancer, we talk about prostate cancer. We're still not great at talking about prostate cancer, I guess. But is it just because of where the cancer is that we don't talk about it?
Absolutely. I think that the EAF appeal in the UK has shown that there's a stigma associated with gynecological cancers.
Yeah.
Women think it's their fault. Women think they are labelled promiscuous, and it's so untrue.
Yeah.
But that's what's out in the community.
Like a lot of cancers, is early detection your best defence?
Well, it depends, because gynecological cancers comprises of a whole different types, and some of them, certainly there's screening, and for those without screening, early detection is absolutely your best defence.
And listening to those signs and symptoms, which we will talk about in a tick or two. Peter, tell us about your first wife, Cecile.
Okay, so it was early 1996.
Yep.
She was feeling short of breath. She was feeling some pain in her shoulder, and she couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. So she went to a doctor who referred her to a physician. She had x-rays all over. They found some fluid on her lung, and then the fluid was removed. There were malignant cells found inside the fluid, and then it became a case of let's find out where this primary cancer is. So even though the diagnosis had been in her lung, it turned out it was advanced ovarian cancer, and she had no idea that something had been growing inside her, because, as Ling will tell you, there is no test to be done. There is no sign of, there is no early detection available for it. So by the time it was discovered, it was just way too late. She was diagnosed in January, and she died in November. Gosh, so 10 odd months. Oh, man. What sort of symptoms, what sort of signs? So you say that Cecile had what? So she had a breathing kind of... Well, yeah, she was short of breath, which was caused by the fluid on her lungs. But I mean, Ling will tell you the clinical reasons for why that fluid appeared. It just seemed to me a very unusual symptom for what turned out to be ovarian cancer.
Absolutely. So what are the other signs and symptoms? They're all different because there's different types of cancers.
Yes, I mean, we're talking about ovarian cancer, which is what, unfortunately, Cecile passed away from. And with that, a lot of people say, well, really, there's no symptoms, but there are. And 80% of women do have symptoms for about 6 months before they present.
Like what?
And the symptoms are bloating, feeling full really easily when you eat, abdominal pain, discomfort, or pelvic pain, and sometimes urinary frequency. So there are symptoms, but obviously they're not that specific. So what we like to communicate to women is that if they have symptoms and they persist for more than a few weeks, then they should seek help and look and get that looked at.
So ovarian cancer is one type of cancer. What are the others?
Well, there's cancer of the fallopian tube, cancer of the womb, the neck of the womb, the cervix, which we all know about, the vagina, and the vulva, which is rare, and also cancer of the placenta.
So, and the only one that we can screen for is the cervical screening process.
Yes.
So that gives you a fighting chance in terms of it being detected earlier in that way. What about what we're doing with kids at school in around about year 8 and they're having the Gardasil vaccination?
Well, cervical cancer is really our star cancer. It's the only cancer that's preventable. And we can prevent it by using a very safe and effective vaccine, as you talked about, which is Gardasil. And we also have a fantastic cervical screening program, and New Zealand has a fantastic, really, stats for that, because the incidence and the deaths from cervical cancer has decreased remarkably since our program.
How often should women be doing that? Every 3 years?
Yes, in New Zealand currently every 3 years.
Yeah. What are you hoping, Peter, by creating some awareness around this?
Well, I just hope that people, as Ling has said, people who do have some symptoms, they do present themselves. And I think we actually have some real issues because of the place on a woman's body where the gynecological cancer is, and particularly among some ethnic groups. And I am particularly concerned about PI women, Pacific Island women, and to a certain extent Maori women. They're very private, and I imagine many of the, say, Muslim and Southeast Asian groups that have become immigrants in this country are also very private about those parts, so therefore they won't acknowledge the symptoms they have. So it's about being aware of the symptoms and about presenting yourself to a GP ASAP.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's a man talking, but having been in a family and lived it, I don't know whether or not early detection would have saved Cecile or not. It was 20 years ago. Perhaps the treatment has advanced since then, I don't know. But certainly early detection, as with all cancers, is the absolute key to getting some treatment.
Totally fabulous that you're here and talking about it, and that's what we need to do more of. Pete, thank you so much for coming in. Good stuff. If you would like more information on Gynaecological Awareness Month, just head over to our website.